Welcome back to the beginner golf lesson series. That was a weird way of saying that.
Just get better off the start.
So in this series, what we're talking about and have talked about so far has been how to get into the game, first and foremost, what kind of clubs to pick, that kind of stuff. And then we talked last lesson pretty much about setup.
Setup, alignment, stance. Oh, excuse me.
Oh,
I just really get choked up. I really love setup and stance, talking about that. It makes me all teary-eyed. But yeah, setup, alignment, stance, just getting ready to take the club back.
so now, today, the moment of truth has come. You're hopefully set up correctly. Your posture looks good.
Hopefully you got some golf clubs that are pretty good for you.
And we're going to talk about the takeaway today. So what you have to do to put the golf club in the correct position at the top and
Get
hopefully
it
not cry.
in motion.
Let's first off talk about when you take the club away, what should be feeling like in your body? What's that feeling you want?
So the feeling that I have is I want for the first, call it however far that is, 3.5 feet or something like that.
First quarter of the
But
backswing.
first, yeah, I'm not going to get into the P1, P2, P3.
Yeah, let's not confuse the beginners.
Personally, don't like that. But
Doesn't matter. It's confusing for beginners.
from the start of my swing till my hands are about waist high, we'll call it that, I feel like my chest, my arms, my hands, my golf club, my hips, the butt of this club stays pointed at my belly button. All of this stuff moves together in that first 3.5 feet.
A lot of times you're going to hear that called the one-piece takeaway.
One piece takeaway.
And that's because the idea is that from your belt buckle up, it's one piece. You're going to take it away.
Correct. A good little spot jumping in there. You can feel it. So this confuses people when I tell them to get set up this way. But take the club, stick it in your belly button,
Yep.
and then get set up like you're going to hit the ball. Do not hold on to the grip. Move your hands down to where it's comfortable, where they would hang, and you're in a good setup position. If you don't know what that is, watch the video before this one. And as you turn, this club should stay in contact with your belly button. And that one piece. If you get this going first or
Right.
handsy and it breaks away, that kind of stuff, that's the one piece.
Yeah, it's a great
Quick way to
starting point too. Because if you're unfamiliar with how that should feel, that is very, very quickly, very easily, with no
Yeah.
extra cost, be able to kind of work on that takeaway. You can take the one-piece takeaway and still get it wrong.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's about putting the club at the top of the swing and making sure it's in the correct position when you get there, so that you can make a downswing, which will be like 2 videos from now. So let's talk about that a little bit, and we're probably gonna have to shift to GoPro backwards cam. Hi guys.
Hello.
So suck one in real quick.
Okay.
Do one piece, but suck one in. So obviously, this is probably the number one thing that I see from beginners is they take it away. But if you look here where Aaron's set up, that club head is way behind where his hands are, and on top of that, you can see how close he is here. Well, that's not the greatest position, because if Aaron continued to go to the top of the swing there, now he's double crossed across his line. So if his target line is that straight line out there, we're over here, and you should be there. And then the downswing is going to look like, way over the top, and snappy, and all kinds of issues. So we don't want to break that habit before it even becomes a habit. I don't know what camera I'm talking to anymore.
Don't let that habit start.
Right. That's the number one miss in golf. I probably, out of all my beginners, and I say even 25 handicap plus, that is probably about 90% of my day is fixing that. So
They get their arms locked in here. They don't really do anything. They just kind of
yep,
go
suck
like
it
this.
inside.
And they're like, oh, but all this is moving
Yep.
at the same time. Well, you're correct, it is, but you're also,
You achieve one piece, you just add a whole other issue
there's a lot of
into the
other
deal.
stuff
So
happening.
let's talk about how the best way to work on your one piece takeaway, but also kind of determine if you're going the right direction here or not.
Correct. So you got the one piece feel with that kind of stuck in your belly button, feeling that takeaway. Another very fast one, quick one, out on the range that you can do. Set a golf ball, basically right behind the intended golf ball to hit, and you can actually hit a golf ball while you do this. And as you go to take it back, what we want is we're going to kind of make contact here and push that golf ball back. I know I did roll a little bit to the right, so don't
A little
don't
inside's not the end of the
crucify me
world.
on this. And there's probably a little bit of break on this mat. But the whole goal with this is whenever I go to take it back, I want this golf ball that I'm moving basically to come straight back towards the camera, straight back down my line. So if I just kind of do that right there,
Yep.
okay, cool, I'm good.
And to be honest with you, a little inside's okay. And what you don't want to see
Is this,
Right.
and
Or
that ball shooting over there,
the other way would be, I'm the reload guy.
or the, or the,
Yeah, way off to the other
I
side.
can't even do that, but pushing it way out the
Yeah.
other direction. You have, and this, I don't know if you can see this on the camera or not, but we have like our mat is cut.
Mhm.
We have like a 2-foot strip in here. If your golf ball that you're sending backwards is staying, in about a 12, 18-inch window whenever you get, here we go.
You want the ultimate fix? Here we go. Get you one of these little guys. These are fancy, expensive white ones. Go to Home Depot, about 25 or something like that. Just line it up with your golf balls. The idea is that you want it to
Hit the stick or just be really close
yeah.
to that stick whenever.
Honestly, probably a little on the inside. That's fine. Now, if he sucks it in and it comes way over here,
You'll know it. It'll
right.
go right or left depending on if you're
Just
right or left hand.
do
golfer.
this drill 15, 20 times without a golf ball, and then maybe do it a couple times and hit a golf ball.
Hit a shot, so then we'd
Right.
be somewhere in this range.
Don't try to kill the golf ball. Don't swing out of your shoes. Just nice, easy motion. Understand that this is not the end-all, say-all. That's
No.
going to fix left and right in your golf swing if the ball's wanting to move a lot of left and right when you're first starting out.
He's just getting you into a position, just getting a feel, getting
Yep.
a general spots.
Well, I think
in there.
another thing it does too is if you can get used to doing a drill and still hitting the golf ball, we're now working on contact a little bit. And it's not even the topic of the video. This is just a fun little repercussions. The second thing we're going to really kind of talk about is where is that club in relation to the hands? Because technically, you could get that golf ball to go back reasonably close to line and still have a little tweak in the swing with a wrist or anything like that.
Yes, correct. We want to be fairly firm with the wrist going back.
Mhm.
So then jumping into something else that you can do is taking an alignment stick, stick it in the ground, back behind you. If you
Oh, I
have
missed.
a golf bag, if you have a door frame at home, any of these kinds of things, this works great right here.
Yep. And
Where you
when-
can set up.
And from this camera view, hi again. When Aaron sets up, you want it to kind of be in line with about the front of your hands.
Mhm. Yeah, maybe
About 3-4
good
feet
grip.
behind you. Yeah, right here, give or take.
So as I go back, I'm focusing on this golf ball right
Right.
here. And when I bring that club back, I want, we'll call this a tree, stick, bag, door frame, whatever it is, but I want my hands to be relatively
Yep.
inside the stick and my club head to be
Not.
relatively outside the stick. Incorrect would be,
That's actually not that bad.
and that's not that bad because the stick was in the way. If that stick wasn't there, I ripped it with my wrist, and I would have been in
Right.
pretty good. But like I tell people, we have this handy-dandy GoPro back here. But if you imagine that I have a camera back here,
Right.
whenever I'm bringing the club back, I would like my club head to be directly in line with my hands. That's a fairly good checkpoint. Yes, you can be a little bit in, you can be a little bit out, but just a general
Sure.
reference point is if there's a camera and we're looking down, hands and club are relatively
Yep.
in the same spot.
Another way of thinking that is if there was a laser in the butt of your golf club shooting straight out, point at your target.
Should be running straight down
Yep,
there.
should be laser pointed 200 yards down range and somebody's freaking out that they're going to get shot.
Yep.
So that's kind of the basics of the takeaway right out of the gates. There's obviously, we're missing the other half of this.
Yes. There is one other little piece that as you're going through this, starting out, don't worry about what I'm fixing to talk about, but all we're really concerned with is that one piece takeaway
Yep.
and making sure that we're not getting wristy and clubs going some wild Jim Furyk, Matt Wolf directions. Fabulous golfers. I would have a tough time teaching somebody that swing.
Yes.
Just because there's a
There's an easier way to do it.
lot of moving pieces to that. Those guys are
Hey, listen, if you start
Really
this
good.
way and you develop that and you will make millions of dollars playing professional golf,
Get
more
after it.
power to you.
I would say as a beginning golfer, I would not try to emulate one of those.
Nah, maybe pick Rory.
Yeah. But the kind of last little piece we're talking about, Ryan said at the beginning about like fixing the lefts and the rights and that kind of stuff. We want to take it back and we'd like that club face to be kind of square, right? So what does square look like? As I'm sitting right here, we're looking down this camera. I have a spine angle can't even hold that stick there. But anyway, I've created like a spine angle right there.
I'll take it.
Right
Good job.
there we go. Okay, so I have a spine angle. Whenever I come back with the golf club, I want the leading edge of my club to match that spine angle. So let's see if we can take it back
Okay.
and get it to right there. So this leading edge should relatively match that stick back behind me or the angle my spine's on.
I said
If,
this.
hey,
Sorry.
if I get going this way, that would be wide open.
Yikes.
If I get that away, that would be
Yikes.
wildly shut.
Also uncomfortable.
Yes. So as you come back in that, that's just a very minor piece. If you have a camera back there or you have somebody to look at that,
Right.
then you can check that. That's a kind of a difficult thing other than being wildly one way or the other. If you're checking it and you're like, okay, yeah, I did a good takeaway. Hands are on this side, club head's on that side. Oh, hello. The
Yeah.
club face is slammed shut.
Right.
Or vice versa. It's like, I did pretty good right there.
Right.
Ouch, I can't really do that. That hurts my body.
So, obviously, we haven't even talked about the top of the swing yet.
No.
And to be completely honest with you, we're going to breeze pretty fast past that part. And the reason being is, as a beginner, it's relevant. But if you do these things, you're going to get pretty close at the top.
Yeah, it's a little cause and effect type stuff.
Right. And so that's why we're not spending just a ton of time talking about it. But let's just do that real fast. So obviously, when you get to the top of your swing, there's a couple of cardinal rules you want to keep. Let's start with the right elbow. I don't know why, I just felt right.
Okay.
So when you get to the top of your swing, so you see how Aaron's right elbow, now personally that's more up than I would like it, but you have a tendency to do that. I don't care that there's a gap right here so much, as long as that elbow is not up there, right? Chicken winging.
Yep.
That's where that term comes from. So as long as that elbow is trying to point to the ground, I'm good. It can get further away. If you look at Dustin Johnson, Bubba Watson, those guys,
Yeah.
they don't keep that elbow nice and tight. And there's a lot of drills out there that promote, like the club head underneath the right armpit. A lot of people use that stuff. I don't love that drill. Now, it's got a time and place.
I like that drill for the first half of the backswing.
Yep, but then not so much afterwards.
Hitting wedges,
Yeah,
that kind of stuff right there looks great.
but we're talking about full swing.
Yeah, I feel like
Um,
when people do that, and I'm gonna Justin Rose this thing right here, and when I get up to the top of my swing, that's
Yeah, well,
very
you can
hard
see
for
what
me
he's
to
having to do to rotate
having
on that
to-
shot. So.
having to squeeze in.
Yep. So the idea there is that we're going to keep that elbow, at least try to keep it pointed to the ground as much as possible, which is going to cause this arm, almost like your palm, the gun straight up towards the sky.
How would you hold the tray?
I wouldn't at higher later. Guess you can just not play golf and hire somebody to play for you if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
You can get a buddy, just go drink beer with him on the golf course.
Yeah. Serve it up.
So, with that also being said, wrist angle, again, by the time, if you take everything we just said into consideration, including that elbow, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty sure you have to break your wrist.
You'll be in a good
Yeah.
spot.
But as a double check, when you get to the top of your swing, you want that club head to be pointed at your target or a little left of it. You don't want it pointed right of target. And in doing that, you're also going to have, you can see how Aaron here,
Okay.
yikes.
Not really where you want.
Right. And again, this is a degree of difficulty thing. This is a beginner golf lesson. We're not dialing in a +5 or a PGA Tour professional
Yeah.
here.
We're just literally trying to get started,
Yep.
get it up here, and now let's
Yep.
come
So
back and hit it.
if you take all those simple things, all those drills and everything that we just kind of went through
Mhm.
and work on it, in its simplest form, if you stood up over the golf ball, now you're playing golf, right? No drills. By the way, you can't use all this stuff on the golf course.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you
don't
go to play.
Don't take your training aids out there.
Just think of really, really simple, two simple swing thoughts, right?
Mhm.
One piece to here, point the club at your target. That's it.
Yeah.
If you kind of think of those two things and then kind of, again, work on the mechanics, then that's something that you will be able to put a semi-consistent golf swing together.
Bars. But yeah, so there you go. We're starting to get you set up.
Yeah.
Get the club moving now.
Making a motion.
Yep. Start checking back in, and we'll see if we can get it coming back down.
I'm gonna say stay tuned for the next lesson. The next lesson we're going to talk about, we're here. What exactly,
How do we get it moving down?
you know, we're not just Ricky Bobby. We're not going to take it here and go, I don't know how to do that.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
So stay tuned for that. Do us a favor if you like this video series and you want to follow along for more stuff. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you're notified when we release these. I think the goal is to release them once a week on this video, and then we'll do something fun on the other
Ask
side.
questions you have, any kind
Yep.
of comments you have, anything that you as a beginner were missing, but something you need to see. Absolutely, we'll address that.
Yep.
And to the people who are really watching, I didn't put my hand in my pocket this time.
That was weird.
Hope that didn't upset you.
I have no idea what that means.
Somebody left a comment that whenever we were shooting the Benton Hardy video, it was really cold out at Whitestone.
Oh.
For most of the video, I had my hand in my pocket.
Playing a little pocket pool over
Yeah,
there?
the guy was like, "Hey, take it out of your pocket. It's annoying and unprofessional." And I was like, "It was warm, is what it was."
What's annoying about it? I don't understand.
So he was funny. We had a little
That's
chat
fine.
back and forth.
But yeah, definitely let us know. The other thing too, I think would be fun when we wrap up the last of the series. We'll let them go for a little while. If you have legitimate questions about the golf swing that maybe it's a little harder for us to explain typing, maybe we'll shoot a wrap-up video answering all of your questions, and just kind of address everything almost like an individual lesson. So
Yeah, perfect. So, thank y'all for checking in. I took your
you
line.
almost took my line.
Thank y'all for checking in.
See you next time.